Hey, Branda.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Excellent. I'm doing very well. Thank you. Thanks for being with us today. And I'm talking a lot about financial planning and making wise decisions financially in the world. But I'm super excited for you to tell us about video series you have coming out soon. So can you tell us a little bit about you and what's coming up?
Sure. So, I'm Branda Allen and TCP Asset Management. We are a firm here in Columbus that was founded, we're about 6 years old right now. And we really were founded on the basis of wanting to find solutions and do what's best interest of our clients. We feel like in our industry, there's so many people who aren't doing the right thing for families. And that just has never felt really good for us. So that's kind of the background and the basis of TCP.
Okay. So you were talking financial planning, and your company is TCP Asset. You guys are on social media, correct?
We are going to be on social media.
Ooh.
So we have not launched any social media presence ever, but we're super excited because tomorrow we will be live on Facebook and on Instagram. So I will be sending out invitations to people to go ahead and like our pages and to hopefully have people share the page and start getting some recognition on social media.
So I want to make sure to get it in early and we can remind later. But at the end of this, we'll have a link to you in the comments. So if people want to make sure to get an invitation to that page, they can click on you or I at the end of this. Sound good?
Yep, that's perfect.
Excellent. So you're going to have a brand new presence in social media. And I'm excited that we get to help kick that off. What are some of the videos that you've got coming up, and really tell me the background? Why did you decide during this quarantine to start a video series?
Sure. So this really stems from something that I've been passionate about for a long time. I'm very passionate about helping women, especially motivated, driven, professional women. And the reason being is that in my industry and in financials, women are constantly late to the game. We are ones that are starting to save for retirement and to start planning later than the men. And this comes from many reasons, not necessarily totally to our fault. A lot of times as women, during the time that we're having families, a lot of us stay home with our kids. We may take a less of a position with a company that allows us to be more flexible. So we have less funds that, we can be saving. A lot of times I talk to women and they say, oh, my husband handles that. And I just really don't like to hear that, because even if you're a stay-at-home mom and your husband is the financial person in your house, he's the one saving, you still have to know what's going on. You still have to have knowledge and understanding of, the planning behind it and what's doing, because, in worst case scenario, if something happened to him, you now are the person needing to make decisions for your family and life. So it's just something I've just really seen a need for young women, especially, to very early start learning about financial planning, start setting goals, and being held accountable, to making sure that they're making good decisions.
Absolutely. So we actually met, to give a little background there, at a women's networking group. I was completely impressed by your communication and your outreach to all of the ladies there. So thank you. And it's been great making that connection. So I do want to point out there that while you do connect and you do have a passion for women, obviously financial planning, you work with everyone.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. But if we can ask the men that are out there watching this, not only to contact Branda for their financial needs, but please forward her contact information in this video that will be coming out, this series of videos, to all of the ladies in your life. So your daughters, your mothers, your aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors, wives, sisters, whatever, to help them be on the same boat and have the same knowledge, because that's not always the case, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And while my focus personally is typically working with women and their families, our firm as a whole, We have 15 advisors actually across the nation. One of my business partners is actually my husband. So, even if you are a man looking for somebody and I wasn't the right fit, I have somebody in my office who would be an excellent fit to work with anybody, in their situation. So, yeah, so we're able to really, be flexible for whatever the family's needs are.
Perfect. So let's talk about these videos. You said with it being what's going on in the world now, you've had some people ask you some questions. What are some of the topics that people will be able to tune in and watch?
Absolutely. So how this all came about is I was on a actual networking group Zoom meeting, safely in my home last week. And one of my actual clients is also a part of this group. And something that she said to me kind of resonated is that, things in my industry can be intimidating. While people seek and want help, they are intimidated by the lingo. They're intimidated because they don't even know what questions to ask. She said, they never taught this type of stuff in high school to most of us. Can you just take it down to the basics and maybe launch a class that is, just helping people understand the background of investing, give us a base knowledge so that we can make good choices. So what I have started creating is just that. I'm calling it just Investing 101. In our first session, we're going to define just basic investments. What are stocks? What are bonds? What are mutual funds? How are they different? Because believe me, if you are somebody who doesn't understand what each of those are, you are not alone.
Right.
If you're not in this industry, if it's not something that you were taught or are dealing with, that's just not something you would know. So we're going to start there. We're going to talk about different things they're saying on the news when they're talking about, is it a bear market? Is this start of recession? Is this what do those scary words mean? And is it really something you should be scared about? So that's kind of what my first session next week is going to be about. And as we kind of get the basis down, we're going to expand on that and talk about different concepts with planning, different types of products that you might use when you're doing financial planning and things of that nature. So,
can I side note? I have a question there because you just mentioned something and we have a question from a viewer on planning exactly on that. So do you have any suggestions or what help would you provide or what avenues would you go down with somebody who's trying to understand how to assist their aging parents?
that is actually something that we get a lot. A lot of people who are middle aged are now having to take over the finances for parents, make decisions for them. So that is something that, with our firm, we're going to look at, what type of investments they have, what type of insurance coverages they have, are those being utilized properly? Somebody who's a lot older, are their accounts in investments that maybe are too risky, where we need to make sure we're protecting what they have and not taking too much risk with that, or is there potential that maybe there's some type of insurance coverage that could help pay for retirement facilities, things like that. These are all different things that we have to look into to kind of look at the whole picture. Kind of each situation is unique in itself, but working to really make sure we provide a good solution.
Absolutely. So you got stuff for people at all ages, for all male, female, or whatever somebody identifies with, and you have for all levels of knowledge, but also age.
Absolutely.
Oh, shoot. Oh, are you there? Sorry. A call bumped us off. Anyway, let's move on. So, question for you. So, as somebody wants to get a hold of you, because they do have some of these questions that are really lingering in our mind, we do not know what's going on with quarantine and how long we might be home. Are you taking appointments now, or are you waiting until this is over?
Oh, absolutely. It's really interesting that this situation has actually made us busier than ever.
Oh,
We're actually having more client meetings virtually than some of us were having in the office because, when things are good, these types of things aren't top
yeah.
not they're not super important to people, but when you start to go into crisis, all of a sudden people are thinking about this, and now this becomes very real and they want professional help. So absolutely, we are meeting with people. And do you want me to give my contact information, or?
If that's up to you, absolutely. And we'll go ahead and make sure that we put it in the comments as well, but anything you can provide here is perfect.
Absolutely. So you can call our office. We are still open. It is 614-761-9378.
Okay.
And, if you want to personally speak with me, I'm at extension 101. If you do call the main line, we do have a friendly, great voice that will answer and get you connected to someone right away. And we aren't open in the office. We are virtual. We were so lucky that when we set up our business, we really set it up so we could function anywhere. We wanted to make sure, if there was ever a catastrophe, ever anything, that we would always be able to service our clients. So this has really, tested those processes, and we are still functioning just as if we were all in the office.
So you were ahead of the game, girl. That's excellent. So you can take appointments in the future at perhaps in person, but right now you can help people virtually. So I do want to go back. We can look at it as far as aging, but just I think a generic question that is great for people that are trying to get their assets or investments for their family together. Sometimes it's hard to get family members to open up or talk. So if you're dealing with an aging family member, it's hard for them to feel like they're relinquishing. But for parents trying to help their children, sometimes they don't want to let up the reins either. Do you have any advice for families of working with different generations?
Absolutely. So sometimes bringing in a third party is the key that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Or saying, give me it and let me go talk to somebody.
Okay.
I think as people age, it's so hard. They lose so much of their control. A lot of times when they're aging, they can no longer drive anymore. They can't go and do the things anymore that they've always wanted to do. So giving up every little choice is hard. So trying to just make them included in the process, say, I found this company. I think they're going to really be able to help you and make sure that you're taken care of. Let's together meet with them. Or if it's somebody who isn't able to leave their home, we can always come to the home and meet with them. But I think just trying to make them a part of the process and part of the decision is very important.
I think that's a great point, though, Branda, is being that third party that can oftentimes be the difference that's needed. Yeah, absolutely. So right now, I think a connection is getting a little bit rough, but I'm hoping everybody hears this great because this is important. I want to know right now with what is going on, do you have any general advice on the financial status of families and what they should or should not be doing today?
Sure. It is a very interesting economy that we're in right now. People in their investments, a lot of this wasn't triggered by any type of financial crisis. This was triggered, by a pandemic crisis, and then so now everything from that is reacting. So my recommendation is for people who are in the markets and who are investing, stay your course. Don't sell, don't go to cash, stay your course. The way that these things work, we're going to come out better in the end. But one of the worst things you could do for your investments right now is sell and go and sit in cash. Because as this starts to come back or as the rebounds happen, if you're not invested, you're going to miss. It's so hard to time exactly when you should be jumping back in.
So what was the quote you just said? Let's let everybody hear that again. If you're not invested, you're going to miss. I like that. We need to put that down as a reminder. So don't sell, stay invested, have faith. This wasn't an economic crisis, so it is going to come back.
Sure. Eventually, that is going to take time. But, what you just don't want to miss the rebound, because that's going to be really hard for any person on their own to predict of what days that's going to happen.
Absolutely. Do you have anything, Branda, else that you'd like to share with us about the video series, about how to get a hold of you or your firm that we may not have covered?
Sure. If anybody wants specific topics discussed or things that really keep them up at night, if you can comment on this video, I definitely will be reviewing those. I had a couple comments on my announcement last week that wanted to talk about, someone who just paid off credit card debt. Now, what do they do with this extra cash they have? Someone else asked, how do I know if I'm saving enough for retirement? And these are all fantastic questions and things that I definitely want to cover. So if anybody has anything else that they would like for me to discuss or dive into, please just leave comments.
Absolutely. And I can see with the real estate and my mindset's going with that, and with investments and when they sell, should they, invest in some other way. And also I have children who are in the younger teen to early 20s. So how do they set their path out from early on? So, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to watch and follow you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Branda, it was a pleasure. I loved meeting you originally. Our communication has been phenomenal. Cannot wait to talk to you more about investments, but also watching you do these videos coming up. I'm excited. So thanks for letting us be a part of it.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks for being with us today. Everybody watching, thank you so much. I am Chrissy with Homes by Chrissy. If you have any questions on real estate in Central Ohio, buying, selling, or investing, give me a call, 614-332-0342. Bye, Branda.
Bye. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.